Alright lads, so continuing on with our, bunch of videos that we have been making over on the Very Hard Guild Quest, trying out different teams. For today's video, we're going to be focusing on the Very Hard Guild Quest, the Range of Sparta Guild Quest. Now, this is a team that I honestly didn't think would be able to work. Why would it? I mean, this is a Sparta Guild Quest. We're bringing 2 Aaroniero killers and we're bringing 1 Nad character as our main. When do you ever get to use a Nad character as your main in any Guild Quest? Well, we've been known, to be fair, that Society ULQUIORRA is one of the better leads and one of the only few non-attack damage characters that you can use as a lead, and today's video is going to demonstrate exactly why. So the quick rundown of the team in and of itself is that ULQUIORRA is going to be our main DPS character. The run is really reliant on him inflicting stat summons. For those that don't know, he's one of the 2 characters in the game right now. When you inflict a stat summon, you get an 80% stat boost to your attack stat. It's really powerful. Like, there's a big difference when he has the attack boost and when he doesn't. Now, alongside that, he also does do more damage in Guild Quest 2, and he also does have a summon which does apply the debuff, allowing you to do around 80% more damage. It's really powerful. Now, in ULQUIORRA's case, we are using him 2 out of 5, so level 10 attack, level 10 focus. He's immune to weakening, so we don't have to worry about any stat summons here. And we've given him full stamp and also weakened defense. The idea for this particular run is that when we use our sub bomb, we're going to clear that wave really, really quick. Additionally, and you will see in the gameplay, his SA3 is like a group in attack, and it's really good for inflicting stat summons and also making sure everyone gets right in front of you so you can kill them with your normal attack string. I will say though, one skill that I kind of wish he had in this particular situation, and you will see in the gameplay, is follow-up. Now, I don't really care if a character has follow-up or not. It doesn't make that much of a difference, but follow-up in Guild Quest, with the idea of using a Nad character, is actually really good. And had he had follow-up instead of I don't know what skill they could have replaced it with, but if he had follow-up, it would have actually been really, really good. Keep in mind, though, he is 2 out of 5, so level 10 attack, level 10 focus. And then for our other characters, we have Ichigo. 7th anniversary Ichigo. Now, he is max transcended. He doesn't need to be. He's just there to do some damage, right? The more damage you can get off with Ichigo, the better. He rides the good crowd control, the Vortex SA2 more so. And because he isn't a Aaroniero killer, the mobs themselves are Aaronios. He does do a decent job of taking out those particular mobs. In this case, though, for bonus abilities, we give him full stamp and also damage to drain, because there will be times, of course, we do inflict drain. That's the idea of this team. When it comes to the accessories, we have a fortification pill, T-set, and also killer sticker. We're just going with full recharge, the best we can possibly give him. And then we have Aizen. Aizen, of course, is also important. Another Aaroniero killer isn't getting the 3 times damage output, but it does not matter. He is there to boost our attack with his SA2 and also help us with his barrier SA2 as well. Now, since Aizen is an Aaroniero killer, he can also do some respectable damage. And if he does inflict a stat summon, he also does get an 80% attack boost. And since he's only applying weakening, the stat summon will only last around 2 seconds. So it isn't really hurting us if he does inflict a stat summon. Keep that in mind. He's 3-5, so level 10 attack, level 10 focus. But again, it's not that big of a deal. His bonus abilities include full stamina and also weaken resistance. And in combination with that, we have used the Society Haribel link, so he is fully immune. Now, you don't need to do that. In all honesty, that was just me being lazy. I already had it set up, so I didn't want to change it. But since Ichigo is in the team, he is getting inflicted with stat summons, and therefore he is sharing that immunity to your team, aka sharing it to Aizen. So weaken duration is not really needed. Maybe go with damage to drain, damage to paralyze. Either are good here. I was just feeling a bit lazy. Again, build Golden Chappie, Hollow Bay, and of course we're also going with recharge full stamina, just so we can do some damage and of course also stack the boost, because that's the main point why he's on the team. Now, I'm not sure if I kind of glimpsed past the build for ULQUIORRA, but of course we are using the same best build for a Knight character. Golden Chappie, Hollow Bay. Don't have a Golden Chappie, probably use a Misanga or a Hunting Cap. And then, of course, the links just include normal attack damage, the ones that give me the most attack possible. We have a Tartsky link thrown in there to give us the last ditch in case we do die. We most likely aren't, but just in case, it might help. With that said, though, let's jump into the run. Alright then, so jumping into the run, let's have a look what we want to do here. So straight away, we want to use that SA3. ULQUIORRA's SA3 is his best friend, right? It groups everyone up in front of him, and it hits a lot of times. And in his case, what you will notice is that since he doesn't have Frenzy +1, since he doesn't have Frenzy at all, it is kind of hard for him to inflict a stat summon, especially with Ichigo on the team. Keep that in mind. So ideally, whenever you have that SA3, you want to save that SA3 for when all the mobs spawn in, like now, for example. Because if you group everyone up, there's a good chance you are going to inflict a stat summon. And the run in particular is very reliant on inflicting the stat summon. We just need to inflict drain once on the boss or the enemy. It doesn't matter. We just need to get the attack boost, right? Thus far, though, we're going quite well. This was kind of like the hiccup here, as the third wave did spawn in. we didn't have our SA3 ready, but luckily, as I was focusing on the little mini-mobs, I luckily did inflict assassination, getting the 80% attack boost, and we're going into the final stage with 15 seconds to spare. Now watch this, we use our soul bomb, weaken defense, and also the debuff is applied. ULQUIORRA, the boss, goes down in like less than 5 seconds time. It was actually insane. So that's something to keep in mind when you do your soul bomb. With the idea that you have weakened defense as a bonus ability, you absolutely rinse through one boss in particular. So you could choose to do your summon on the 3rd, 4th, or 5th boss. I just chose to do it on the 5th boss since he does have the largest amount of HP. And with that, we actually beat the quest with 9 seconds to spare. So that's kind of impressive, I'm not going to lie, that you can beat a guild quest not by himself. Obviously, Ichigo and Aizen did contribute to the team. They were helping out. They were also doing damage, but we were only using one Espada killer. So I really like the idea of this team. I didn't think it would work. It did work, and somehow it was a new personal best. Honestly, wasn't expecting that. Generally, just thought we'd maybe beat it with a few seconds to spare, which is kind of true. We had 9 seconds, basically just as, almost less than 10 seconds to spare. But this was better than my, Beyond Resurrection ULQUIORRA run with a 5-5 Abby Rama, which is kind of surprising. Now, the run itself, just for clarity, it did take us around 15 minutes to do, which honestly isn't even that bad, just for the idea of beating this quest. Let's go back, though, and quickly break down the run in of itself, right? Mostly just pausing it at a time, and exactly how did I go around playing this. So again, straight away, we're going to use our SA3. Luckily, this time around, we did actually inflict the Statsman. You are kind of also working against Ichigo too, because he can also inflict Statsmans, and you want to make sure you get the Statsman instead of Ichigo, for example. Another thing, if you are deciding to use your Soul Bomb, you do want to make sure you use the Soul Bomb when the attack boost does wear off, as that then does give you around 10 more seconds with the attack boost, right? If you use your Soul Bomb when the attack boost is about to wear off, and every enemy is dead, and then there's one enemy left already inflicted with a Statsman, you're not going to get the attack boost, so keep that in mind. So going into the second stage again, we're just kind of trying to hit all the enemies at the time, boss included. Again, we use that SA3 here, drags them all together. At this point, we kind of want to stay next to Ichigo if possible. At the same time, if we can, kind of stand in the middle of the vortex too, so everyone can kind of get dragged into it, right? Going into Aaroniero, again, I got lucky here. I actually inflicted a Statsman against that one particular mob. That gave me the attack boost, and at this point, I knew I was going to beat it, right? Because we have 25 seconds to spare. If I get the attack boost on Aaroniero, it's a GG. Ichigo's SA2 does go off. It actually inflicted Aaroniero with paralysis for a few seconds, just wore off too. And luckily, we did actually beat the Aaroniero relatively fast. 16 seconds to spare. An example of what I was just saying to you, right? The attack boost just wore off. So we want to now use our Soul Bomb. If I had the attack boost, I would have waited for it to wear off, because you don't know how long it's going to take to defeat this particular mob, and you don't want to waste their attack boost, right? If I use my attack boost and it goes away after 2 seconds, I kind of wasted it, right? Unfortunately, though, this is kind of funny. I actually did notice it. The second the boss spawned in, ULQUIORRA actually got paralyzed from Ichigo's Innovator and also Immobilizer. So we didn't even inflict Drain on the ULQUIORRA boss, which meant we could have done more damage since we had damage to Drain built into ULQUIORRA. Not like it mattered though. The main thing is that we did apply the debuff. We did apply the weakened defense. We got the attack boost from the little mini mobs. Some of them were still left alive. As you can see there, it would have actually been 11 seconds to spare. But of course, since we're the main DPS character, right? Since we're only using our Nasrin, we can't actually damage the mini mobs, right? We're kind of relying on Ichigo and also Aizen to do that, but at the same time, since we did apply weakened defense and also the debuff, one strong attack free was enough to quickly wipe out any leftover mobs. And yeah, with that again, 9 seconds to spare, really impressive team, definitely worth giving it a try. You don't need to have a max strength to Ichigo. Of course, it does help, but the main thing here is a 2 out of 5 or 1 out of 5 Cacao Society ULQUIORRA. In that case, it was not the greatest run. It definitely did go well at points, but at the same time, we did take hit. We didn't inflict this attack boost constantly. There's definitely ways to improve on this run, and if you are using a less transcended team, it's definitely still beatable. It just requires a bit more RNG, again, inflicting the stat as a minute to therefore get the attack boost. Very cool to see teams like this work. It's a perfect example of working with what you got here. And again, there are very few characters like ULQUIORRA that you can use as a main and actually be consistently good at it. ULQUIORRA is a character you can use as a main or a side, and he does well in both situations. Of course, the character similar to him is going to be the Aizen. You can definitely get away using this character as a main in the ranged Aranka guild quest. Will he be a better side? The Aranka ranged guild quest does have access to more better main characters, but ULQUIORRA does have the advantage of actually having a debuff summon, which really does help him out, and that's why I was excited for the character and wanted him when he first came out over a year or two ago at this point. But nice to see him still aging quite well as a Nat character. A great character to use this week. Hope you liked and enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.